yo, Crypto Nation and mining family. What's going on out there? I'm Nemesis, and I've got my two home dogs here, Crypto Mikkel, and we got one of my other home dogs here, Chris, Mr. Anderson. What's going on?
Switching it up on y'all tonight. And switching
Surprise!
up even further, we even got another special guest for y'all.
Ooh.
Some of y'all may actually know him. But yeah, tell us who you are, buddy.
So I am Dan Keller. I am the business director for Zell. So Zelcore, Zell Lab, Zell ID, Zell. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. I do a little bit of everything.
Nice.
What's
A
going
man
on,
of
Yashnik?
many hats.
Mining Lifer, Shuby. Yeah, that was a good game. Shuby was our winner today. Or no, Yashnik was the winner. It went
Yashnik.
against Shuby and Yashnik,
Mm-hmm.
and Yashnik took the win.
And we actually missed the moment that it happened.
we were all like talking, and then it just like bam, it was over, and we're like, what?
Done.
What happened? Like it happened like so fast, and I was like, we've been staring at the screen for like 5 minutes, and all of a sudden it was just over. We're like, whoa, what? So fast.
That's how poker is, boys. Fast and furious. Got to be on it.
Yeah,
Right.
they were literally, seeing their cards and then hands over. Seeing their cards, hands over. See their cards, and then so they did that like 5 times in a row, and it just freaking
Then went
the
ahead.
one time that they showed their hand and put the bets down, it was less than 5 seconds. The game was over. We totally missed it.
Whoa. Michael Schubert, me? No, it wasn't you, Michael Schubert. It was Yashnik. Good old Yashnik. So yeah, man. Tell us a little bit about your project that you got. Zell, Core, Zell.
Yeah, we definitely got a lot going on, that's for sure. I think probably one of the biggest things right now is some of the stuff that's coming out with Zelcore. It's really ramped up hard. Over the past 2 months, we've really had, release after release after release after release. It's like, if you're a miner or a node owner or a trader, you're going to love Zelcore and what we're doing. Some of the things we introduced more features to Zelcore Plus. We added in Gemini, Exchange to the API. You name it, man. We're putting it in there. Kitchen sink goes.
Like this. Zell.
Nice. Nice. Love it, man. Love it.
Love it. I wear it all the time.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on with Zelcore, and then of course we're getting ready to launch global spawning on Flux, which is our decentralized computational network. So, for all you out there listening that don't know what Zell does, Zell is a privacy-based coin. It's based off of Zcash. But we took it a step further, and we instituted deterministic nodes into it. So those deterministic nodes is 3 tiers. So you got your basic, you got your super, and you got your BAMF. Now you can try to figure out what BAMF means, but it means broadly available multifunction nodes.
You mean
Sure.
It doesn't mean badass mother?
It does mean that. Damn it, that's what it is. We had to have some PR in there as well. But you know what? If Elon can call it a big fucking rocket, then we're bad. It's a badass motherfucker.
Or you can call his
Yes.
his Tesla line sexy.
Yeah.
If you really want to get down with it.
So hold on. What's the difference between a regular node and you just said it a second ago?
BAMF, the big boy.
And yeah, you got
It started-
3 different levels.
Distinctive,
levels.
distributive,
Deterministic.
deterministic. What does deterministic mean?
Well, the way that back in the masternode world, they really were transaction validators. So all they did was validate on transactions on the blockchain, and they were clunky. It was almost a randomized kind of distribution of block rewards. Deterministics, they already know who's going to get the next block reward, so it's much more consistent. Now, I'm not the tech guy, and they'd kick me the fuck out if I was. But you know what? It is. They're highly reliable, and the uptime is insane on them. So we actually, one of our architects is Jeremy Anderson, who is the lead developer for Ravencoin. So he's also our lead developer on for the node structure. So yeah, three of them, and each one of them has computational requirements. So these aren't like your, bargain basement, throw it on, a VPS provider somewhere. These are they need to be always on, they need to be always ready, and there's a shit ton of requirements for them. And there's an application that runs on top of those nodes called Benchmark D, and what that does is it ensures that each and every node is meeting those requirements. And if you don't meet those requirements, you get toasted, you're out, and you lose your rewards. So being up, there's a small little threshold of time there that you can, if your ISP blips or something like that. But the idea is to be able to spawn these decentralized applications all across the world pretty much instantaneously with Flux. And we're already doing that. We're already running, for shits and giggles, CryptoKitties crashed Ethereum. So one of the very first things we did was we wanted to run, Asteroids, Super Mario Brothers, Pac-Man, you name it, man, it's running there now. We're putting a Minecraft server up just for shits and giggles. First decentralized Minecraft server. I mean, it really is amazing how easy it is going to be to deploy a decentralized application on Flux. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Flux has always been a pretty developing sector of Zelcore, really. From what I've seen, they've always been coming out with something new, something interesting, trying to develop. Because I remember talking to them about the Minecraft server because of one of DCA's mutual friends, Bitcoin Jake, who runs Satoshi's Quest, which is a Bitcoin Minecraft server. You have to hunt and look for the treasure, which is Bitcoin. You win Bitcoin.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, and it's great. I was actually talking. Who was it? I was talking to somebody on Flux. It was when y'all had your last live event when DCA live streamed it as well.
Yeah,
I was live streaming it. I was talking to them about it, and that's what they were like. Oh my gosh! They said send me his information. So assuming they talked to him to help kind of further that along, because it would be interesting for it to run on Flux.
Yeah. Hey,
because it helps out.
That's really that's decentralized. Decentralized. That's where it's at. If they can Dockerize it, they can put it on Flux. So tell them to look us up. That'd be cool as shit.
Yeah, it's super interesting idea. Yashnik is saying Daniel Keller would be great to have Aeon available on Zelcore. Because Yashnik, I don't know if you know, Yashnik is from aeonpool.tech. He is the owner and operator of aeonpool.tech.
Yeah, tell him to send me a message and we'll add it in. We got a short list. There's going to be some coins released here within the next few weeks, popular ones that people are asking for. So it's so hard to keep up. There's so many fucking shit coins. But we try to add the best. So tell him that's one I know we can put on the list.
You heard it, Yashnik.
Yo.
I didn't say you're on the team. He says he's not on the Aeon team. I know you're not on the team.
You run the pool.
You're very close with the Aeon team.
Yeah,
so
you know people.
You
network,
put the word,
connections.
Yashnik. We got this. You got this. Get Aeon on there. That'd be interesting. Because in my personal opinion, someone needs to take over where Koinomi is constantly failing, especially for miners, because that's a real, I would say, go-to wallet for a lot of miners. It's like Koinomi because it's quick. They can use it. They can use it to hold poop coins of mass amounts. You know what I mean? Like for a in-between wallet. Definitely not like a forever wallet. But in order to hold a lot of poop coins, Coinomi has kind of been the go-to other than Exodus. But Exodus takes a crap ton of bees to send out of. So you kind of got to pick and choose that battle. But Coinomi's been like dropping the ball a lot.
There's nobody that holds as many assets as us, and I can guarantee you that.
I hear that.
But here's the key thing. You say when you guys hold assets, we still have the keys.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
100%.
Yeah.
There's the key right there.
Yeah.
You hear that, guys?
Well, we were, Zelcore was really built from the ground up to be a miner's wallet. I mean, if you really want to get down to brass tacks, it's pretty, and it's really starting to get fine-tuned now, and we're getting these API integrations. We're getting all these, we're bringing in the traders, the hodlers, the, miners, the node owners. But when it really comes down to brass tacks, we built it because we knew miners needed it. So, we are the only, that, to my knowledge, multi-asset wallet that runs full node and light node. So if you have a prop project that you want to support and run a node, you can do it right out of Zelcore. If you have, if I want to use my private transactions on the Zell network, I'll use my, my full node. So yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. We have multiple addresses, so you can have up to, I think it's 3 in Zelcore, regular Zelcore.
3 in regular.
And you get another 3 when you subscribe to Zelcore Plus, so that's...
You get 12. You get 12 in Zelcore
12, so... Yeah. I mean, more than I ever used. I can tell you that. But miners, on the other hand, they're gonna need that access. So, I mean, we built this thing really, honestly. Zelcore was built with miners at heart when we started.
That's awesome. You guys saw a need and like, hey, we could build that.
Yes.
That's the kind of project that we like.
Well, I'm a miner at heart. That's how I got into the space.
You're in good company because those two right there.
Always. Yeah, I mean, I have started to use Zelcore for a lot of like mining stuff because it's just easier.
Yeah.
It's easier. There's a lot of downtime with Coinomi. If it wants to broadcast, because it doesn't half the time. Sometimes you got to send transactions multiple times in order for them to go through, and that right there is a headache. No one wants to have to do that, like, ever.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, with these multi-asset platforms, they depend on the chains to maintain their explorers and things like that. Zelcore, we don't do that. And as a matter of fact, we're in the process of doing fallover explorers so that if one public infrastructure goes down, our internal infrastructure will pick it back up again. So, that's something different that, I bring from my tech experience, failover, load balancing, things like that we're looking at now to really make it more stable. So we really kind of built this awesome infrastructure, and now we're really working on fine-tuning it the way that we want to.
And down there in the link, guys, I put in the comment section, there is the link for Zell.network. Y'all can go over there and check it out, and that's where you can get the Zelcore wallet. Which an interesting feature about Zelcore wallet is that all of the wallets, if you run it on your desktop or on your mobile device, you can interlink them if you choose to. You don't have to, but you can.
Good for phones and your PC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you can do more than one too. So like you could have one that you can interchange between the two, and then one you don't.
Yep.
One that you just keep away off on the computer somewhere else offline or something.
So Bear at the North Pole in the live chat has a really good question that I'm sure a lot of people have. He says, Zelcore and Zelcash the same? Like,
so, yeah, they're the same. Zelcash is what powers the entire ecosystem. So you got Zelcore, you got Zelflux, you got Zell ID, you got Zell Labs, and in and around every single one of those parts of the project, Zell is the monetary means to do so. So if you want to buy Zelcore Plus, you can use Zell to do that. If you want to stand up a node on Flux here within the next few weeks, you're going to need Zell to do that as well. So, the closest thing I can compare it to, and I hate to say it, is if Binance and BNB, how they tie together, and that's kind of how Zell and Zelcore, Zell Labs, and all those.
I would put it more as you have Zcash, which is the algorithm,
it's a currency model. It's a
the,
utility.
The project, but Zelcore is the product of Zcash. Without Zcash, you have all of these other products in a sense.
That's right. And some of these are
like
open
Trust
source.
Wallet, etc.
Yeah.
But he says, but not really, right? Like Trust Wallet, but not really.
But not really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are open source, like Zcash is the open source network. Zelcore is a closed source wallet. Zell ID, Zell Labs. Labs is the incubation acceleration model. And then you got Flux, which is completely open source, except for one part, and that's benchmark D, and that's what makes sure that we don't have any cheaters on the network. So it's a combination of a little bit of everything. But Zell makes the world go round in that whole picture. That's the tie that binds.
Right.
I know that I said this earlier before we started streaming, but one of the things that I really like is the fact that that inter-exchange operability. Could you talk more about that?
Well, the holy grail is to take these decentralized components and have them work together. So, and one of the things that we looked at when we looked at Zelcore was how can we kick it to the next level so that we bring people into the platform and keep them there. So we want to aggregate your news. If you go into Zelcore now, you go to Zell, you can see all the news on people come back multiple times a day. It's not just a wallet like what we learned, stand up a full node wallet, and you only went there just to check your mining rewards. This is more of an interactive piece. Zelcore kind of ties that all together. And that interoperability reaches out to exchanges as well. So we carry the Binance DEX, we carry the Binance centralized exchange, we carry Kraken, Gemini, Bittrex, InstaSwap, CoinSwitch, you name it, down the road. So, and that brings a lot of people into the space, and it gives them the opportunity to never leave their platform to do the things that they need to do. You want to talk about decentralized finance, that's it right there. I can do everything. I can mine into it, I can trade, I can run my nodes, whatever.
You just got to go off the platform one time to basically set these accounts up at different exchanges and then just API link it all together, and you're just like, okay, one area.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's a DeFi project, but what I am saying is it brings all the best components of other projects into one centralized location to give you, we call it the gateway to blockchain, because that's really what it is.
Right. And I was actually doing a little bit of research on this, and what I found very interesting is because of all the APIs with Zelcore and running like Zelcore Plus and running all the nodes, I found that if you really want to be secure with it, you could run Zelcore on a virtual machine, off of some private server that you purchase, and you could quite literally run that on there, run your node on there as well if you have the right service, and be able to call your APIs and do all of your stuff on there securely and not even be on your network doing any of that.
Yep.
Which makes it a very interesting and project and asset in itself.
Yeah, it's interesting and challenging all at the same time. I mean,
Right.
When Satoshi Nakamoto sat down and penned, the Bitcoin white paper, he was thinking about how the ebbs and the flows of this, how it's going to grow. It's going to have problems. There's going to need to be developers. I mean, we dropped half the nodes the other day, like that. We broke them, and I said, guys, we shit the bed here. This is, but if you're not breaking it, it isn't tech. And that's the great thing about it, is we're pushing the envelope, and privacy, security, decentralization, they're all at the forefront with Flux, and really anything that Zell does.
And everybody, Yashnik and Shuby over here and Crypto My Life are all saying thank you.
Yes.
Because I let them know earlier about our conversation about giving some Zelcore Plus to the poker players that were playing today, and giving them something, and they're all saying thank you.
Absolutely.
They're actually, Yashnik he's gonna get one, and of course, we got Shuby, so I got some in there as well. So
I threw you some extra ones tonight too, so you can toss some out. A couple people
Ooh.
as well.
Special giveaways.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'll actually have if you guys are up to it, I'm gonna make it a little announcement for us. Is one of the things that we want to do with the Zell project is give back to the community. So this is spoiler alert for anybody in the Zell community. You should have attended tonight because you would have got to hear this. But we obviously want to put things in there for everyone. And we also want to get the most exposure that we can get for Zelcore Plus, because it's an awesome platform and people should be able to use it. And if you help with the network and you participate with the network and you kick it up a notch, then you should be able to get that for free. And we're announcing tonight that anyone that holds 5,000 Zell and Zelcore will automatically get full access to Zelcore Plus and all the APIs, everything, all in one. So it almost, we call it staking for a service. Staking it's a service that we're giving to people. Or continue to keep it, developing it. If you got 4,999 Zell, you don't get it. If you got 5,000, you're gonna get it. So it's kind of cool, and it gives people something for free for their service. So yeah, and we thank the community for that, because that really we were able to do this because of the support of the community. So
and when you do that, you're only halfway to running a node.
That's right.
You only need 10K.
That's another reason why we want to really engage people and bring them in. Is they're like, hey, 5,000. If I can get to 10, I got a node. So
Hold on, let's specify real quick,
earn
because
rewards. And
let's specify what
free.
10K is. That's 10K Zell. So just to let you guys know, I already did the math. Just to have the 5,000 is just over $204. Like barely. So to have 10K is like 410 to get that extra.
Well, you guys know what I'm talking about. All it takes is a taste. And then you want a little more, man. You want a little bit more. So that's what we're doing. Is we're bringing...
It's like a miner getting more GPUs. It's like you
go.
start off at one, and you're like, 50 later.
The miner's curse, man. You're like, I'm gonna get these GPUs so I can mine to get some Bitcoin, and you get that Bitcoin, and then you're like, if I spend this Bitcoin on more GPUs, I can mine more Bitcoin.
And then 220
and then you just do
comes,
it over,
and then 220 comes into your house, and
I got that, boys. Yeah.
This is the addiction is real. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the miner's curse, man. You think you're mining to get more Bitcoin, but really you're just mining to get more miners.
Right, I can open up my bedroom door that's right here, and the world will hear the droning sound.
Yeah.
Hundreds of fans.
Big Deep says, "Yo, yeah, it's the addiction, man."
The crazy part is I found out about Bitcoin because I played World of Warcraft, and I cheated. I wanted more gold. So I went on the internet and I put in, buy WoW gold, and I found this Chinese server that
buy with Bitcoin.
Yeah, buy with Bitcoin. I'm like, Bitcoin, what the hell is that? Well, I'm like, okay, fake internet money, whatever. It's like, because I'm used to playing WoW and you're using gold in there. The economy is
the same economy.
It could be, you know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy.
Digital assets, man.
Digital assets, and you trade them and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, people were making money playing WoW.
Same thing with the Counter-Strike. When CSGO first came out, and with all the skins, that was a thing. Like, people would sell them and trade them for Bitcoin. Even all those years ago, before there was really even a service for it, like you would just, because you can gift and trade them, and you would just hope that people are honest, and you trade it, and there you go, and you get Bitcoin for CS:GO skins.
Well,
Days, man.
The good news is it got me in the space. The bad news, every time Bitcoin goes up, I think about all the stupid shit I bought on World of Warcraft, and that pisses me off.
You're like, man, that was a lot of Satoshis back then.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
But at the end of the day,
Now you look at it and you're like, that was some really expensive World of Warcraft gold.
But that's also kind of viewpoint on it. I mean, is this supposed to be a digital economy? If so, then that's basically it's uncensorable money. If you're looking at it as like a digital asset like gold, then you should never spend it. You're only waiting for it to hedge the market when you need more dollars, and you sell it when you need dollars. But either way, it's kind of funny how people are like, oh yeah, I spent something yesterday, Bitcoin went up, man, I was a fool.
as long as you replace it, that's the key. So, and I think that's a really good observation, but I think we're somewhere in the middle. I think we can still use it as a currency somewhat. I believe there are other platforms that are much better as a currency model than what Bitcoin is. So I probably err to the side of it, Bitcoin being more like digital gold, but we're learning. The tech hasn't been developed yet. We look at the Lightning Network, and some of the things that they're doing with Bitcoin, even Zell and what we're doing with some of the things we're doing with Flux and things like that. It just looks different. So I think we move from currency as we know it today, the dollar, the euro, whatever. I think we move to a currency by choice, and I don't think there is a winner in the end. I think it can be multiple platforms that have that interoperability that pulls them together, that in its sense is decentralized finance. I believe you have all these different platforms working
but there
together.
are so many people right now that they're like, let's hodl, and it's like, okay, so you're speculating, aka gambling, that it's going to go up in value just because you're holding on to it, though. And that's what a lot of projects have their holdback, is that people are like they're just holding it as soon as it pumps to a level that they're like, I feel comfortable, this is my target, I'm selling, and either the project's value plateaus in a certain spot because that's everybody's target, or it just duffs down, and 9 times out of 10, a lot of those projects just do a big pullback once it pumps because people are like, I hit my target, sell.
Well, I think that part of that is getting more educated users in the space, because go back to 2017 and you see the FOMO that came in. We all got caught up in it. We chased green candles. We didn't know what the hell to do. Everything was going up, right? The infrastructure wasn't in place to be able to support the demand and the influx, and people got kind of almost dismissive, and then we went into the bear market, and then it kind of just leveled off. But I think that as people become more educated, although we're seeing some FOMO in different areas now, I think that the more seasoned veteran, the people that have been down this road before, I think there's a combination of take a little bit of profit and then also hodl, because I think in deflationary economic models like Zell or Bitcoin or any of those, I think holding really is pretty valuable in a bull market. I mean, you sell it and you think, I'll just buy back into it later. The next thing you know, it's way up, and you're like, oh, what the hell do I do? And so sometimes just the move that you don't make is the right move.
Now, you pointed at your hat right there, so that leaves me being the designer and the marketer and the store guy, merch guy. Can you tell us about the logo? Like, what is the story behind the logo, and why did you choose that design, like those blocks?
Well, the blocks, I mean, that kind of follows through all of our logos. If you look at every one, they're either a combination of 3 things coming together, and it just signifies the chain. The HODL logo that was created for this hat is big shout out to my buddy Seth Estrada, who put up a merch store for us and gave us some of the most badass merch. I got t-shirts, I got hats, there you go, gaiters, you name it. Hell, I think there's some panties on there or a bathing suit. I don't know, something on it.
I think there was a bathing suit.
You know, it's like, holy shit. But yeah, big shout out to him. So we've been very blessed to have a good community that really participates, and you know, they have a lot of fun.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So I'd like to talk about the team real quick. You know, I did some research on your site, and you know, if I didn't ask about this team member, I know that this guy right here would kick my ass. So can you tell us about Dibby?
Dibby? Where's he at? He's not around here. Dibby is my dog, and he's kind of the team mascot, and we've kind of interweaved him in different. Look, man, when you got a bunch of guys that are friends and we're having fun and we're building something for the future, you got to have a little fun. So the guys actually came here today-ish, and Lumi and Miles and all those guys, they came here to stay with me, and Dibby they just fell in love with him. So we created an ERC20 token for shits and giggles, and we called it Dibby Coin. And then he's continued to kind of just hang out, and we actually launched Dibby Fetch, which is our aggregated oracle. So basically, we one of the very first projects built by an outside developer of all people. Nope, somebody else outside built it for us, and it's an oracle that basically aggregates all the data, and you can see it. I think it's markets.dibbyfetch. I think it is.
Bitcoin
awesome.
Jake, what is up, my man? Speaking of the guy earlier, we're talking about who runs the Bitcoin Minecraft Satoshi's Quest.
There he is, right there.
There's the man.
Send me a DM. That's cool.
So yeah, Bitcoin Jake, talk to Daniel right there.
Yeah. Twitter, you can find him at, was it just Zel_core?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can
The one
do
with
that.
the
Zel_cash and Cypherpunk.
I put in there the mineyour.biz search Zelcore, and it pulls up all of Zel's products on there.
A lot of good shit.
Very first page there is the bikini. The bikini, sorry, bottom. It's just the bottom. It's not the top.
We don't need tops over here.
Dude, this is what you get right here. All of that. That's a cool mug.
That mug's pretty good. I like that background.
Big old sticker, backpack.
Scrolling, towel, tank top, got the baby onesie, got the joggers, long sleeve shirt, hoodie.
I gotta get
bottoms.
a hoodie. There you go.
Bottoms. just the bottoms.
Well done. Well done.
We got 3 pages of stuff on Seth's store. So that's pretty awesome. There's the full little Leo.
And
blankets.
if there's something that somebody wants that's not on there, he'll make it. Cool. And I have a bunch of those stickers. It's on my phone case. It's pretty badass.
It's a pretty cool sticker. I dig that.
The only sticker I want to get on the back of mine, they make ones that'll it looks like you've taken the back of the case off, and it makes it look like all the inside. The inside of the phone. I'm like, oh man, I still want one.
Yep.
Zel Commerce. Dig it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I got to give respect to Seth about. It's like the guy knows how to design some stuff.
Yeah.
Love what he does.
Great guy.
Love what he does.
And he's huge.
Nick's like, go back.
And he's huge into security and all that good stuff too.
That was the last page.
He loves
like,
security.
Leave that on.
He loves privacy. It's probably some of the reasons why he doesn't like the Zelcore wallet is because of the privacy built into it.
And he's the only guy that I wouldn't want to arm wrestle, because I tell you what, that dude can work out, man.
Oh my God, yeah. Too funny.
There we go.
I think he wants to see the bikini bottoms. That's the part he wants you to
I know
stay
that's
on.
what he wants. I'm giving him the donuts.
But he's getting the donuts.
I just want to be able to see the chat, so I have to move. Yes, ETC is on Zelcore. Will that remain? How is that working out for Zelcore? Because you could run an ETC node on Zel, right?
Yeah, you can really. That's the other thing about Flux is you could actually deploy a node on Flux. And we actually, one of our very first things that we did on Flux is we launched about 800 block explorers for Zel, just because we could do it. So, I mean, what we wanted to kind of prove is there's a high level of redundancy and very quick scalability. So, I mean, I feel bad for ETC, man. I can't say that, it'll remain in Zelcore, and we'll continue to keep supporting the project the best we can. I know there's challenges with some, public infrastructure and some things like that. So hopefully they get their shit together and, they'll keep on cranking for a long time.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope. It doesn't sound like they want to fix their broken code.
Yeah. Well.
Code's law.
Yeah, code is law.
Code's law and people are perfect, right?
I think what you get is you get this developer's dilemma where you get, a bunch of devs on a project and the vision starts to get cloudy. You know what I mean? Like one person thinks we should do this, one person thinks we should do this. And you saw with ETC, they even split off different development groups and all that kind of stuff. Really, that's what you want on a project. You want multiple people developing on the project, but not to the point where you can't get anything done.
Right, and you can't be doing in-house fighting either.
Yeah,
that definitely hurts the project too, because now you got people, different developers that need to solve a problem, and they're unwilling to do it other than their way.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the one good thing about having we have a very large development team, but we have a very small core that really kind of is helping to develop what the next iteration of Zel, what the next iteration of Zelcore looks like. It kind of an agile approach so that we can learn, we can fail quick and learn from it, and then keep developing forward. As we grow, I'm sure that consensus mechanism will change and the community will become more involved. We eventually want to get to the point where we hand Flux off to the community to really just run with and develop with. So we're decentralized at our hearts. We want to see that happen. So yeah, big deal for us.
Sorry about the noise right there, guys. Window was open because it's hot.
Heard nothing.
Well, I'm glad you guys didn't hear anything, because the guy next door is using power tools.
Oh my God.
So, hey, I got a question for you. It just came up when I saw the screen share going through. What's the future regarding payment processors, like stores like mine, dogelord.com, or anybody else that has a store? Could we use Zelcore in the future as part of our payment processor?
Oh yeah. So there's going to be some announcements made here probably within the next couple months that are going to bode well for that. We're already working with some other individuals that are developing payment processing platforms, and it just makes sense. Zel is super quick. I don't know if you guys make transactions. It is so fast, and it just makes sense to eventually develop that area out. Is it something that we're really focusing on and digging into? Probably not as much as we are with Zelcore and Flux, but it's definitely on the radar.
So, not in the near future, but sometime in the unforeseen future, possibly a Shopify API for stores, API for your mom and pop shop down the street.
Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open over the net. There's Dibby.
There's Dibby.
Yeah, Dibby the crypto dog. Keep your eyes open. We've got some announcements coming in that area, which will be good little things to add on.
The reason why I'm scrolling through this is because Yashnik says he's curious how many people are on your team and how many departments, etc. So that's why I was scrolling through.
Woo! That's a big.
The long list.
Yeah, we have a big team. So we have. I'm gonna say.
Good old Crypto Wrench.
Oh, Wrench is on there, man. He's my
Oh,
bud.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We have Trunk and Volter and Blonde Frogs and a whole host of developers. I'd say we're close to 10 developers, and then we have a marketing and PR team, which is David and Lucas and myself and Brent, and of course we got Parker, who's the operations guy. I mean, we honestly, if you kind of scan through some of the other projects, we are well staffed for the space right now.
Collectively, about how many years
Miles.
do you think you guys have when it comes to experience?
Oh my God, man, dude, I'm like 45 alone. So I don't know. I mean, you got to say. I mean, we got some seasoned guys. So you got guys like me and Volter and Parker who are older, and then you have these young guys who are cutting their teeth and coming up and learning the ropes. So it's a good combination of the old folks, the medium, and the young folks. Crypto predominantly, like you guys are all very young, is a very young thing. I mean, people come into it at a very young age. It's not very often that you see somebody that's older, although your sister.
You're only a little bit older than me.
Just a little bit older than us.
All right,
Mikkel's the
the
youngster.
baby here. Mikkel's still in his 20s, okay?
all right. Well, then we're all right. We're in good company then.
It's like I earned every one of these gray hairs.
Every gray hair I earned.
I was on a call with somebody the other day, and they said they were 55. I was like, yes, finally somebody older than me.
So curious about this one. Partner right there. DigitalOcean.
It's an interesting partnership. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that work out, my man? Like, or maybe on top how it works out, but that's an interesting partnership.
Well, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, what we're developing is
Perfect for nodes, of course.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, if you sign up for DigitalOcean, they'll give you credit for your Zell node, and we've done some stuff where
You hear that, Crypto Mind Lifer? He was talking about earlier. He said, how do I run his node? How do I run a Zell node? And I was telling him it's best to run it on a VPS. So literally, here is, as he
There's
just
your
said,
VPS provider right there.
you can use DigitalOcean, and they are one of our partners, so I don't ever say don't.
There are other options.
But
Volter is a great,
Volter is a great and
fantastic service.
if you go to Zell Labs, go to YouTube, type in Zell Labs, and watch Goose's videos on how to stand those nodes up. An infant child could stand these things up, guys. I mean, I probably can't, but but it really is, man. It's good.
Do you know if you can run like a VPS with a Tor?
Okay, so
running Tor on a node would not work out.
Well, it did in the old version, but we had to take it off. And
okay.
I'll tell you why.
Because I saw something in some of the articles that I was researching that there used to be integration for it.
Yeah, we had to take it out, and I'll tell you why. We went IPv4 only, and the reason why we did that is, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not the tech guy, but they have to be reliable and dependable, and the uptime, and that met the requirements of Benchmark D. So that's why we had to move to IPv4. So I don't know, if you let it up to trunk, everything would be Tor, and it would be private, super private, hardened Dockers, and the whole 9 yards. So I think you'll probably see some of that stuff come up.
Oh, nice. Because I'm planning on turning my Pi into a Bitcoin node, and the first thing that I came across in some of the articles that Bitcoin's core wallet's already got Tor integration built right into the wallet. You do not have to do anything special to integrate it in except for to tell it to look at it.
Yeah, it's kind of like we did with Zelcore when we threw in the proxies. So we had a lot of issues with people not, depending on what part of the world they're from, not being able to access the platform. So what did we do? We built in a proxy. So if you go in, when you log into Zelcore, you can select your proxy, and it's all over the world. So there's I think 10, 12, 13, 14. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. More than I'll ever use. Yep.
Almost every time I log in Zelcore. Yeah, so affiliates, as you can see, because these are where you make your your API calls, of course.
Yep.
CoinSwitch, which I use, it's a great service. I've used them for quite a while, especially for mining and keeping stuff away from exchanges. If you want to do it that way, you can do that. Of course, you're going to pay a fee for that, so always remember that. Shapeshift does the same thing. Kyber Network runs straight on Ethereum, right?
Yep, straight on Ethereum. Yep.
It's all ERC20s, which you can add ERC20 tokens into the wallet now, right?
Yes,
sir. That was an update ago or so?
We just rolled that out
Mm-hmm.
a couple days ago. And again, why I said Zelcore holds the most assets. You can now have any Ethereum token in Zelcore, and that joins Raven and Neo, Ontology, and all of their asset layers. So, I mean, I don't even know how many assets that thing can hold now. It's well out. It used to be 30,000, and then we added every Ethereum token there is. So, however many that is.
Right, and especially on Raven, because there are tons of assets on Raven, tons.
Got to give me some. Got to give me some ass pennies, man. That's a token, man. I'm not kidding. Ass pennies there.
Yashnik says, how many public nodes are out there for Zell?
There you go.
Okay, so public nodes, we have, if you're talking about the Flux network, the Zelno network, we have about 930, I believe it is today. I think we'll probably break 1,000 with it by the end of this month. That's the goal, at least the hope. And then we have, of course, tons of transactional nodes that we don't include into it. So I would say if you added all of our nodes together, we would be probably one of the largest networks out there in terms of space. Now, I mean, like used to be Zen Coin, or was Zen
Protocol?
Yeah, Zen Protocol. Their side Horizon. That's it. Sorry. Sorry, guys. If I offended any Horizon guys, they have probably one of the bigger networks, but they're using that as a network validation. So, one cool thing about Zell is it's a fork of Zcash, and just like 3 days ago, I posted a tweet that said we did 3 times this transaction that Zcash did in one day. We did over, I don't know, it was like 15,000. They did less than 5. So that's pretty impressive in itself, because for all intents and purposes, we're the child project, although we went a different way.
Mm-hmm. That is impressive.
Okay. Man. That answers your questions you had there. Yeah. So
And I love Zuku, and I love Zcash. Those guys are great, and their technology, we adopt pretty much everything. So, big shout out to the Zcash team, because if they wouldn't have put together such a rock solid project, it wouldn't have gave birth to projects like Zell. And
Yashnik is asking a mining specific question. What algorithm does Zell use?
We use Zell. It's Equihash 1. Crap. What is it?
150-5.
Yeah, it's I call it Zell hash. I have no idea. It's a Zell hash. It's our own algo. So we had a guy named Wally Deeb, who's pretty famous in the space for algorithms and things like that to help us work it out. Back when the Zcash miners came out, the ASIC miners came out, all the projects that were based on Zcash had a really hard decision to make. and that was, are they gonna fork? What are they gonna do? And when you're all running the same algo and you're all doing the same thing, you're highly susceptible to somebody coming in making an ASIC that's gonna target that particular algorithm. And then they can just run the gambit up and down. So one of the things that a lot of the teams talked about was we got to get different. We got to get different algos. We got to make it real hard for these ASIC manufacturers to build these things. And I can tell you right now, Zell's sitting on a backup algo. The day that we find out there's an ASIC on the network, we'll fork. So, we're committed to decentralization, 100%. GPU all the way.
That makes GPU Jesus happy.
You see, I live on both sides of the fence with that myself. It's like, yes, I'm a GPU miner by heart, but at the same time, if you want, massive scalability in a proof of work algorithm, and you want to have the utmost security on that network, then your natural progression would be to try to get ASICs on the network, whether it's controlled by if it's manufactured by a division of that particular coin, or you have Bitmain or somebody else sitting there and just mass producing a bunch of it. But that comes with a dual-edged sword at the same time, because if people don't believe in the project, then you have those same ASIC guys going, well, I need ROI, and down goes the price.
Yeah, there's no such thing as ROI in ASICs, I hate to tell you, because there is, unless you get them like day one and you tune them up very quickly. And, I definitely hear what you're saying. I am on the other side of the fence. I don't believe that a more hash necessarily equals network security. I think it's up to the projects to be innovative and not continue to keep carbon copying whatever the fuck somebody else did. So for us, we had to innovate and get away from that particular algo, and we'll do it again and we'll do it again. The ability to keep the project decentralized is to keep it in the hands of the people that can go buy a GPU and they can mine with it. That
also comes with a dual-edged sword too, because if the network is cheap rental power on top of it, now you're running the gambit of having the Ethereum problem, with not so much of them having the double spend, but the 51% on there, because the cost of hash rate is so much lower. Mm-hmm. And to be able to maintain that for a couple of hours, so that you can either be the greedy miner or you're trying to find a flaw in the system. But it's like me and Mikkel have seen on other coins where you're looking down the barrel of a very greedy miner.
Well, and Satoshi Nakamoto addressed this, and when he was kind of penning his commentary about double spend attacks. His ultimate goal was to see the network grow to the point where it made more sense to mine the asset than it did to double spend or try to attack a project. So, like what Zell has done is they've have some things that are built in that it doesn't make sense to try to attack us. You're going to have to try to attack us for a very long period of time, and you're probably going to not succeed. And where the 51% attack really comes into play is for exchanges. So you have to be upfront. You have to have a mitigation plan in place as a project. We've been attacked before. I'll be the first to tell you. When we were very young, we were and starting out, we were 51% attacked. People do it because they can do it, and
right.
That's part of what makes us better at we not necessarily say we're inviting it, but we want people to test our infrastructure.
Right.
Gotta get that panda dancing.
Yeah, when you first come out, you want people to kick the tires and try to break things, including 51% attack. That way, you can actually prevent it in the future.
Hell yeah.
Broken.
Well, we did it on a coin a while back. We had one of the people who was representing the team come up to us, and they're like, "Hey, can you toss some hash power at it?" Because they knew that we had a bunch of GPUs, and we tossed at it, and we watched her Discord explode, going, "We're being 72% attacked."
If people actually knew the dynamics of how hard it is to 51%, I'm not saying it's impossible by any stretch. ETC, unfortunately, they're the prime example of why it's valuable. But it comes down to who loses in the end for a 51% attack.
Everybody that holds.
Everybody that holds, and the exchanges. And the exchanges, when the exchanges lose money, they don't just sit there with their hands out, or they don't just sit there, they have their hands out. I can tell you firsthand, if you're 51% attacked on an exchange, they're coming after the project to get some satisfaction. So you better have a rock solid plan in place to mitigate that stuff and hope like hell it works. And there are going to be people that test it, but I believe that is truly GPU mining is the most truest decentralized process out there, and I'll gamble every day with that side.
What about being more focused like the Monero approach, where they looked at it as a CPU, because almost everything has some form of a CPU. Not everything needs a GPU, so he made it to where you can run it on any device out there.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not a super big fan of Monero. There's a host of reasons why, and none that I'll share. But
maybe off the stream after the show.
Yeah, off the stream. I'll give you a heads up. I think it's a good project. I think that if you're privacy oriented, I think it's probably one of the best projects out there. That in itself can draw the ire and attention of people that you don't want to have attention on your project. We'll just leave it at that.
Oh yeah, and it's some of the reasons why, like, if you're going to be you're wanting to be completely private, you have to mine to a wallet address that's running behind a VPN and a Tor. This way your wallet's anonymized, and then you got to make sure that you're only transacting peer-to-peer, and only the peer-to-peers that run their wallets the same way.
Yeah.
This way nobody tips their hand. So I mean, there's a lot of people don't realize that you're leaking data everywhere, even if you're trying to utilize Monero, unless you are basically a cypherpunk and understand privacy that way.
If you are a cypherpunk and you understand privacy, you'd understand why I say that.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. So no, I mean, there again, and this is what I've said before in the past. I think that they have a niche that it's currency by choice. So there are people that are very into, they're almost obsessed with security, and Monero fits that mold. I think there are other projects that do that as well, but I think Monero does it pretty good.
Right. Oh yeah.
I agree.
With Monero versus Ghost, what's your opinion on Ghost Coin?
Well, anything John McAfee's attached to kind of concerns me, but I did look it over the other day. I don't know, man.
It's interesting.
It's interesting. I mean, you can take little grains out of anything and say, well, this is curious and interesting to me. But again,
the one I don't care about the tokens. What interests me around the project is their SIM card, the Ghost SIM card for the phones, for private phones.
Remember,
I like that.
Just remember, McAfee's been promising that shit for 3 years.
Right,
exactly. The McAfee phone goes back to pre-2017 stuff. I mean, this guy's been promising this shit, and it's the same regurgitated stuff again and again. So,
well, he might be closer now. Which kudos to him if he actually can pull it off.
Well, what's he got? Like 6 months left here. Come on, man.
Before he has to start eating his pee.
Yep. So, we'll be patiently waiting.
Well, you heard what he said now, right? He's like, Bitcoin's going to zero, blah 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 blah. Ghost Coin's where it's at. Well, of
Oh
course
yeah,
you say that.
you know, and you have other shills of Bitcoin that used to be Bitcoin maximalists. You know, Richard Hart of Hex, he was a huge Bitcoin maximalist until the bear
Until
market.
he had his own coin.
No, the bear market like took away 80% of his wealth, and you know it's like, and he in the process did everything that he talked shit about basically at the end of the day. Where he's like, oh, if you're gonna make a coin, you shouldn't call it Bitcoin, blah blah blah. You should just own it and be your own thing. Don't be like Bitcoin. And here he is. He does Bitcoin Hex, and then he drops Bitcoin, so it's just Hex now.
Look, man, I'll tell you. I
He
think
said, "What about the McAfee crypto card?" Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Oh
was
my
a thing.
God, yeah.
and the McAfee Dex, which is a thing. That is actually.
Yeah, I don't
He
think
did.
I'd
He
do
did launch
anything
that,
there.
and he's got nothing to do with it. He claims.
Well, the thing about it is you go back to 2017, and there was, let's say 95% of the projects that were created in that ICO run-up, that craze, were absolute dog shit, and they needed to go away. And we saw this cleansing period. We burnt the forest down. We cleansed for a while. And now all of a sudden you start seeing these projects that really have some legitimacy to them. So, when I look down that list, I think, oh my God, there's still a lot of them on there that not innovating, and they're just kind of just sitting there spinning their wheels. So I'm waiting for Dentacoin to come back, man. I'm a huge, got a bag, right? I got a bag now. I'm just kidding. I don't have a bag.
I try. It's like went to my dentist, and we were sitting there. I had my Bitcoin shirt on, and he's like, "Oh, that's that internet money, huh? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me." And I'm like, yeah, you could sit there, and I start going through the normal spiel of it's basically just internet uncensorable money, And he's like, I'm like, you can make a coin for whatever you want. There's nothing stopping you from doing it, because he made the cross arc. I can make my own. I'm like, yeah, you can. And he looked at me. I'm like, they already got a Dentacoin. I mean, you could already be using that. And he just like looked at me like, get the F out of here.
Yeah.
No, seriously, out of my office now.
Right.
I will not see you anymore.
Most people,
Find a new dentist.
if you were born in a developed part of the world, right, you've only known one currency. You've known the dollar. You know, maybe you know EU, the British pound, whatever it is. But that currency, that model, how you spend money, it's always been standard. And now, for the very first time, it can be opened up.
Well, yes and no. I mean, if you think about it, the onside of credit cards, that was the first time money changed into a different form, and went digital for the first time.
That was the way it first went digital. It didn't. Money changed forms many times before that.
Oh yeah, fiat has the only
yeah.
one common thing fiat has in common is the fact that it will fail. It will eventually go to zero. So I'm not saying the dollar is going to fail, but I am saying that there are, as we go back and we look at the Yappy stones, you look at beads and corn, and whatever's been used for currency, whatever was a need, they could use it for currency. So yeah, I think we're in a different time now, and I think people are starting to finally get into that adoption phase, or at least that curiosity peak where they're gonna start asking. My mom asked me about Bitcoin. I was like, holy shit, this is legit, I helped her download Zelcore and send her first Zell, and I said, I'll send you a little Bitcoin too.
So consider that you guys have your own wallet. What's your guys' take with the Federal Reserve and all the other franchise banking systems that are allowed to now hold on to Bitcoin, basically making their own custodial wallet?
Yeah, think about that long and hard. If anybody. Let's back up, and we talked about that educational phase for crypto. That's how you fucking learn, man. That's how you find out is when your Bitcoin isn't there anymore, and they will do this, and people will gladly hold your Bitcoin for you, and that's something that people are going to have to grow to understand. And we as developers, we better make damn sure we make a platform that's easy to use and can be adopted quickly so that we can be the ones educating the end users and not these financial institutions who have perpetually shit all over us for years and years.
Yeah, because let's not forget, if you use a financial institution and let them hold your Bitcoin, when you decided you need to have $5,000 for a down payment on the car, they're going to ask, why do you need your Bitcoin before they let you have it?
Yeah.
Whereas Zelle isn't going to ask you a damn thing.
Have you ever tried to take
Your keys.
Have you ever tried to take $5,000 out of a bank?
Yeah, come back in 4 days.
Yeah, they won't have it. They don't have it. We bought a car or something like that, and my wife, said, all right, let's go up and pull the money out. And I said, oh no, we're gonna have to call ahead. We had to go to 3 different banks to get enough money to buy that car, and that's, to me, that is terrifying. And for the very first time, I think my wife had that epiphany moment. She's like, well, I understand now. You know what I mean? I understand what you're saying, that none of it's real. It's fake. When you can print it and it can show up, Trump bucks can show up in your mail, you've got problems, man.
And then it's supposed to be legal to carry on you up to $10,000. That's your legal limit. Without special paper.
Dude, if you get pulled over by a police officer, you get to face asset forfeiture. If you have like $2,100 that you won in Vegas, they're like, oh no, we think you're taking it for drugs, even though you happen to stop
now
in
you've
Vegas
got to go to court to
Wisconsin.
prove that your money is your money.
Yep. And
and that your money isn't committing acts of whatever they want to accuse it of.
Well, let's face it, the financial institutions have shot themselves in the foot, because for so long it's been, the bank closes at 5, you're not getting anything done on fucking Saturday. Sunday, there is nobody open, right? If I want to transfer money, I can only do 3 federal transfers because Reg D or whatever the hell it is, and they say you can only transfer 3 times from your primary checking to your savings in a month. I mean, they have basically built a archaic infrastructure.
Yeah.
That it was so ripe for anyone to come in and create a project like Bitcoin to really just, flip them ass over teacup.
Yeah, but the government through the years also weaponized the banking structure on top of it. I mean, like a lot of these projects, and I don't know about you guys, but a lot of these other projects, they're still holding dollars, and they're holding dollars in a bank account. And if the banks sit there and go, yeah, this project's competing with us too much, we don't like them no more. Boom,
They out.
Yeah, they're done.
Done.
Yep.
Yeah, I like what Nefarious said before he retracted his statement. He was saying, put money in. Oh, there it is. He said it. Put it again. Put money in the banks after 5 on Friday, and you won't get it until Tuesday.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's antiquated as shit. And it's
Or cash a check that's over $500. You only get like 200 of it, and then you'll get the rest of it in 2 days.
It's very poetic that Satoshi Nakamoto used the recession when he minted the first Bitcoin. I think his chancellor bails out Europe again.
Second bailout.
Second bailout.
Thanks in the brain.
He, they, she, it, them, whoever, they understood that there needed to be a really systemic, a deep change in the way that we use our finances. And I think you're seeing this really start to materialize now, and I've been calling for it for years. I said, you're going to have a pivot point. I'll give you a perfect for instance. If you look at Africa, Africa and telephone lines, infrastructure was like this. It was completely dead. Now in the rest of the world, it was parabolic because the infrastructure started to be built and it got better and everybody liked it, right? So everybody had a home phone. I don't know if you guys remember those, but we had home phones, right? And then if you look at this line graph for Africa, all of a sudden when cell phones were introduced, it went straight up like this and parabolic. People are using them now M-Peso to pay for things with their shitty old Nokia phones, and adoption rate is it's astronomical because it was the right time. And I think that's where we're at with crypto right now. We walked right into that pivot point, got socked right with COVID-19. It's changed the way that we look at the banking system, the healthcare system, how we look at government. It's insane. We're in a really cool time right now.
Well, let's not forget this whole quarantine thing. The banks aren't even open half the time.
Yep. Yeah, and
They got a coin shortage too.
Well, that was manufactured anyway.
Yeah,
whatever.
I think there'll be a push to digitize the dollar. I think you'll see that within the next year or two. And I think part of why this second round of bailouts, of stimulus, there was some verbiage in that draft specifically around creating a digital dollar, and it got stripped out. So all of a sudden it was there, and you could see it clean and clear, and then it came back out again because I don't think they were quite ready for it yet. But I think that what you're going to see is they're going to say, well, it was antiquated the way we were doing it before. We sent checks out in the mail. You got a paper check. Nah, we can't do that anymore. We needed to do a digital dollar. All you have to do is download this wallet, and we're going to send it to you, and then you can spend it anywhere.
Well, why would they have to do that? All you have to do is just integrate a bank.
Yeah, nefarious technologists
and each bank
made
would
a
be
good
your
point.
node holders because they would be running the U.S. Mint's digital wallet.
Official node.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Their QT wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, nefarious technologists just made a nice point in the live chat. He said, now, Bank of America doesn't even have staff in their banks. They closed all drive-up windows. When you ask what the hell, they tell you, go online and bank with them.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying when you think about it, because I think you're going to see a lot of people aren't going to understand this change because we've seen this coming for a while. I mean, I've been in this space long enough to know that I've seen this. The writing's been on the wall since the first day I read the Bitcoin white paper. I knew that this shit was going down. But a lot of people, this is going to shake the foundation of how they do business, how they live, the things they do. It's going to be crazy.
Well, I remember hearing about Bitcoin back in 2009, and I've said this before on the show, and I'll share it with you. When I first heard about it, I was still in the military, and I was thinking, oh no, I'd gone so far down the rabbit trail, I'm thinking, oh no, that's that, RFID chip in the hand, freaking mark of the beast money, I ain't touching it. I didn't do a damn bit of research. Now I'm on the other side, and I'm saying that, yeah, Bitcoin is free speech money. It literally could quite possibly be, for, the Bible thumpers, the money that the people left behind can use, that the governments have no control over.
Bitcoin and what we are doing with blockchain is the last bastion of free, decentralized financial power.
Freedom.
And it is it's up to us, because we are the early adopters. We are the ones that are coming into the baseball game before it ever started, right? And we got to we have to build that infrastructure. We have to be evangelists of that and share that with as many people as we can, because I don't think they'll be, once they have your financial information and they start to ban cash, because that's, I believe, where we're headed as a society. What do you do?
Of course they're going to ban cash. Right now they're all, anytime you hand cash over somewhere, somebody's there right there with hand sanitizer, because they had to handle cash because COVID.
Right.
Yep.
It's the perfect excuse.
Hand sanitize like 3 times going in there.
What's up, guys? There he is.
It's like I'm being displayed again. Great.
That's a crypto dog.
That is
Good
awesome.
old dude.
So we are
else
at
has
the
any
hour and
questions?
15-minute mark.
Yep.
If we have any more questions, definitely hit us up in the live chat. In the meantime, Daniel, is there anything else that you would like to share about Zelcore? Any projects coming up that you can reveal? right now, or announcements or something?
Yeah, we got a lot of exciting stuff that's going on right now with the project. We are in the process of getting ready to launch our global DApp spawning. So that should be, we're thinking in the September timeframe. We're already running multiple decentralized applications on there. If you haven't checked it out, come on over to YouTube, put in Zell Labs, and check out Goose's video. We got lots of the Core podcast and all that kind of good stuff. And like I said, very first time people are hearing about it tonight, get your Zell, 5,000 Zell, you get Zelcore Plus. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. I want to thank the community and thank you guys for having me on.
And we wanted to thank you for being an officially unofficial or official sponsor of our tournament for charity by being willing to give out Zelcore wallets.
Anytime, man.
What do you want to know, Helper Crypto Miner?
And what's going on, Crazy Pool?
Helper Crypto Miner says, ask about the Cadena addresses in Zelcore. What do you want to know?
Well, I think what he's asking is, it's a little wonky right now the way it's laid out. That was the first time Cadena was added to a multi-asset platform. So I don't know if you guys know about Cadena, but Cadena basically has 10 chains, soon to be 20 chains.
Yeah.
And basically the address layout is the bottom one is going to go away, and you're just going to use the top one. So if you see the bottom one, and I think it says like Zelcore, Cadena, something, don't use that one. Use the other one. And the way Cadena works is if you transfer or you move, you can move to any one of those 10 chains. So if you don't see it show up in wallet 1, or you have
chain 1 or chain 0,
one,
go through the rest of the chains.
Yep. Because I have some Cadena, and I went down there and checked, and boom, there it was, and 3 or 4 or something like that. So yeah.
Especially when you mine Cadena. When you mine Cadena, it's a whole different animal. Have fun.
Oh yeah.
It's all over the place.
Because it goes whichever chain it wants to. Whenever that payout comes out, it can go through 0 through 9, and it just picks and chooses where it wants to go.
Yep.
Yep. So
Yashnik asks, how does the APIs work with Zelcore Plus? Is there fees taken by using the APIs to the exchanges supported?
So the way that the APIs work is there is an affiliate fee essentially on the backside. So depending on which exchange it is, we will take for every transaction that's initiated out of the Zelcore platform, we'll take a percentage of that fee. But to the user, it's transparent. It comes from the exchange. So the partnership is with the exchange. The user's not going to pay any more fees. It's not going to be any more expensive for them. It'll just be just like trading on the exchange itself.
nice.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. We got KuCoin on there, which is probably one of my favorite exchanges. Love me some KuCoin, and it's really easy to use, and you can get Zell there too.
Yeah, KuCoin was one of the first ones that I actually jumped on. KuCoin and Binance.
Yep.
As always.
So
Looks like says Panda's going live after this. He's gonna do a 19K sub giveaway. Give away some Bitcoin.
Okay.
Excellent.
Last thing, check us out at Zell_core, Zell_cash. Come on over to our Discord, and Zell.network is the website. And guys, thank you for having me on, man. And hey, you guys are growing. I remember the first time I saw you guys, it was this weenie thing. You guys are now having tournaments and everything, dude. Sign me up. I'll sponsor you for the next tournament too. So
yes,
Nice.
Signed up.
So real quick before we sign off, I wanted to say thank you, Daniel, not only for the tournament giveaways, but also for the bonus giveaways. That way we can actually give Zelcore wallets at later times. So thank you very much for that as well. And
glad to help, guys. Thanks for your support. Big time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We appreciate it. And
Shelby just said we suck at poker.
yeah,
Well,
I
I
know.
can't change
Hey,
so there you go.
hey, all I have to
Eighteenth
say is
place, it's
that,
whatever.
well, at least you were one of the losers with us, so.
you didn't win either.
You lost just a little less than we did.
Great stream, guys. Zelcore for the win.
Yo,
Agreed.
for
Zelcore
sure.
for
That
the win,
one,
guys.
I think we can go ahead and say sayonara, guys.
Yep,
if you
well,
haven't already,
yep.
subscribe, hit the smash button, like it,
Right.
join the Discord, and definitely check out Daniel at zelf_.core and all the other.
If you ever,
ones that
if
he
you
shared
ever
with
want to
us.
support us, go to dogelord.com or join the Patreons. Links are always down below.
Support the guys. Come on, let's go.
Right, for sure.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, with
Appreciate
that, guys, we are out of here. See you all on the next one.
Later, guys.
Peace out, guys.